So you are just going to reveal that Emperor Palpatine is alive in the opening credits? It just makes me go like this.
Impossible. Perhaps the archives are incomplete.
Why didn't they just reveal Palpatine in The Last Jedi? Imagine during the throne room scene, Snoke dies, and then a clone of Snoke walks in, explaining his resurrection that was made possible by Palpatine. That would have been a pretty crazy twist, instead of just seeing him in a test tube for like 5 seconds. Also, Palpatine could even be a clone. This would explain how he survived the Return of the Jedi. The whole concept of cloning being used by Sith seems very interesting, but this is basically the only line from the movie that goes into it.
Cloning? Secrets only the Sith knew.
He's been planning his revenge.
They drop this immediately, and we go straight into Rey's scavenger hunt that lasts about an hour. So Emperor Palpatine just has a fleet of 1,000 destroyers under the ice? Where did he even get the resources to build that many ships without anyone knowing about it?
There's only one business in the galaxy that'll get you this rich.
War.
Selling weapons to the First Order.
So everyone on Canto Bight should know about the Emperor's new fleet if they sell and hook up the First Order with Star Destroyers and weapons. At this point, I'm just assuming that Emperor Palpatine was rolling in dough. Also, why does the lightning sound like nails on chalkboard? So in this scene, they are getting some intel from someone who works in the First Order. What isn't explained is the fact that a bunch of TIE fighters show up with no explanation. They're just there for action.
That's one hell of a pilot! Sorry, I'm sorry, I know! It's on fire! Whole thing's on fire! All of it's on fire!
In this scene where Poe is flying and dodging buildings, he looks directly at Chewie instead of where he is going.
Yeah, well, Rey's not here, is she?
Further demonstration of him being a great pilot.
Her name is Nambi Kima.
I like how Rey just assumes that this alien speaks English, and the alien somehow just knows her language but can't speak it. Also, these speeder bike type vehicles go from levitation to ground.
It is evolving, just backwards.
The hell is this?
Take his field! Try to grab something!
Only if she knew how to levitate them out of there.
Rey! Rey! Rey, I never told you Rey!
So what was it?
What?
What you were going to tell me?
When?
When you were sinking in the sand, you said, I never told you.
I'll tell you later.
What were you gonna tell Rey before?
You still on that?
I don't know why they keep telling the audience that Finn knows something about Rey and to have him never say it. It doesn't really make sense. He probably knows that Rey is a Palpatine, but I feel like he only knows that to give his character more relevance. Besides that, he doesn't do anything and just shouts character names and random things.
Rey! Rey! They got Chewie! They got him! Rey! Come on! Rey! Rey! R2! Oh! 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 Lando, you did it! You did it!
That's some great character development. In The Force Awakens, he went from being a stormtrooper to helping the Resistance, and in The Last Jedi, he went from being a selfish coward to a heroic hero who wanted to sacrifice himself. He should have just died in The Last Jedi because he doesn't do anything in The Rise of Skywalker. Going back to the quicksand scene, it just so happens that under the quicksand was exactly where they needed to go. It seems pretty convenient. Especially when that dagger could have been anywhere in the desert. After they get off the desert planet, they have some time to cool down and it's revealed that they are being tracked by the Knights of Ren. It doesn't make sense as to why the Knights of Ren didn't just seize their ship on the spot, because they end up losing them on the planet they were going to, so they're just completely useless.
Doesn't R2 back up your memory?
Oh, please. R2 storage units are famously unreliable. Memory restoration complete.
Why is there only like 5 stormtroopers in this entire hangar? Shouldn't there be security cameras in the hangar that would see them rolling these stormtroopers?
The cameras.
Ah, now there are security cameras. Also, they shoot them after they've been recorded.
Drop your weapons!
It's okay that we're here.
Why didn't Rey just use this Jedi mind trick on the 2 guards walking up to the ship so they could use their uniforms? I know that would be copying A New Hope, but that is the only logical move to make here.
You are a Palpatine.
Interesting. Palpatine fucks apparently. Are we going to go into how this happened? No? Okay then.
All right, then. Keep your secrets.
A Jedi's weapon deserves more respect. What are you most afraid of?
Myself.
Because you're a Palpatine. Who are you?
Luke in The Last Jedi had no idea who Rey was, but in The Rise of Skywalker, he suddenly knows that she is a Palpatine. Did Leia just join like the Force Ghost group chat and tell Luke about Rey's identity? Not a single person shows up in The Last Jedi when the Resistance lets out a distress call. In The Rise of Skywalker, literally the whole galaxy shows up. Lando goes through a couple McDonald's drive-thrus and somehow convinces millions of people in the course of an afternoon to join them. The main reason people didn't show up in The Last Jedi was because of fear. Now Palpatine is back, and you would think that people would be even more scared, but that's just not the case. Are they going to tell us who or what these hooded figures are? I assume they are just Sith Force ghosts, but the movie does not go into it, so whatever. The Knights of Ren were around the whole movie, and they get rolled in like 15 seconds. Like, they are literal knights according to their title, but they can't win a 6v1. You can also see that some of the knights are just waiting around to attack. Like, look at this. Kylo was literally sitting still, on his knees, and the knight misses his lower body. Why doesn't Palpatine keep draining the life out of Rey and Ben? He can literally just kill them on the spot, but he doesn't because of that thick and juicy plot armor. What is the answer to beating Palpatine? Not 1, but 2 lightsabers, hell yeah. What a very creative solution. So Kylo Ren goes through a big character arc and becomes Ben Solo again. The sad thing is that he basically doesn't have any lines of dialogue after this transformation. He just walks into Exegol, fights some people, and then dies. Like, he's the most interesting character, and we don't get to see him as Ben Solo.
We were on the verge of greatness. We were this close.
So for the new Star Destroyers with planet-killing weapons, it apparently only takes about 15 quick shots from a Y-Wing to take them down. That seems like a pretty big design flaw. This is basically just the Death Star 4.0 but in disguise. This point mostly goes into the tonal whiplash from the movie's cracked pacing. So let me lay out this scene for you. Ben Solo, a major character who has a strong connection with Rey, dies, and we only get a 3-second reaction. Immediately after this, Rey just leaves in her X-Wing and she seems fine. None of the other characters bring up Ben Solo or how he made a sacrifice to save Rey. He's just forgotten. Just about as much time was spent on Snap's death scene, and I bet you don't even know who that is.
Snap!
One point that I found while doing a little research into the movie is that Chris Terrio, who is the top listed writer, was brought in to finish up the script with JJ. Some other movies that Chris Terrio was involved with writing includes Batman v Superman and Justice League. I just don't understand why a movie with one of the biggest budgets would hire a guy who wrote 2 blockbusters that were panned. This could very well be the guy who gave us the Martha line.
Save Martha!
And now he gave us this really cringy line in the movie.
Oh, they fly now!
They fly now! They fly now!
Just overall, The Rise of Skywalker is very inconsistent in comparison to The Last Jedi, and that is like a big reason why I don't like it. Luke isn't consistent, Finn lost purpose, they shoehorn in Palpatine because they lost Snoke, and even the scars on Kylo Ren's face are inconsistent. Yeah, that's about it. Another point I was going to go into was Rey suddenly knowing how to force heal when no other Jedis knew how to. But it's Disney. They'll create any plot device to save their beloved characters. If this video does really well, I could probably make a Star Wars Rise of Skywalker, but it's just bad dialogue because there's a lot of bad lines in the movie.
You know what you are?
What?
You're difficult. Really difficult.
You-
You're a difficult man.
But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video and have a nice day.